Hey, how's it going? It's Southern Fried Chad here again. I'm here with Cryptic Mang, an Aeon who is really stepping it up on the video front. He is a co-host of Flipping the Stock Market stream that recently started. Cal and Cryptic also host Crypto Compass, a Twitter Spaces that has various communities come on as well. He makes shorts for TikTok, and they're always very bullish. How's it going, man?
Thank you so much.
What was that again? It was great. You're doing good?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. Thank you for letting me come on, man. Super appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. So like what got you to the point to where you were ready to buy SPX and get into it?
So I bought my first meme coin. It was in December of 2023. So I used to work in finance back in the day. It was like I ran a small bond desk back in like 2011 and 2014. It was like small boutique desk worth just like a couple hundred million. And I actually hired a cold caller who
Okay.
became my friend that I'm still friends with today. He's the one that told me to get meme coins, and he was into crypto back then. This is
Oh,
2013, right?
right.
So I was like one of those TradFi guys that's like, it's all fake. We'd go to the bar, I'd make fun of it. And then fast forward, I'm talking like 2017, we would still meet up and he would be trying to get me to buy it. I'd be like, it's all fake. It's all because we're printing money. And then dude, fast forward to December 2023, he calls me, he goes, look, I need your autistic brain to look at something. I turned 2 grand into 40 grand this month. And I go, what is it? And he's like, meme coins. So I immediately laughed and I said, no. And because I thought of Ethereum, like I
Hmm.
dabbled to touch the last cycle,
Yeah.
and I could not wrap my head around the fact that the transaction costs were so much money. Just like from a TradFi background, I go, there's going to be no adoption to this. I went to buy $300 worth of a meme coin, and the transaction cost was 150.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I go, what are we talking about? And he's like, no, this time it's on Solana, and he's like, the transactions are super cheap. He goes, so it's very liquid now. And I'm like, all right, I had like $2,000 left in like a wallet. It was,
Sure.
dude, Exodus. What was it? Trust Wallet. I say Trust Wallet, I start to sweat because it was that thing was so hard to use. So it took me like 8 hours to figure out how to get it over to a Phantom wallet. And he's like, buy this coin with dog with hat.
Hmm.
And he's like, you're gonna buy Popcat. So with was at like 150 mil market cap
Okay.
at the time. Popcat was like 5 million.
Yeah. Wow.
So I buy them, and with doubles, right? Gets like
Sure.
37 cents. I sell it. I call him. I'm like, 2x, what's up, dude? He's like, what are you moron? He's like, you sold it? It's like, dude, this thing didn't even start yet. And I was like, all right, well, now I got this money. Like, what do I buy? And he tells me, he goes, you should buy this coin, Giga. And he's like, go
Okay.
into the community. You're a workout guy. You love the gym. He's like, they tell you to do push ups. So I go onto this space, right? And
Yeah.
do you know who Burnt is? So
I've
Burnt's
Yep. I've heard of him.
he's
Yeah.
kind of like an OG, great guy. He was talking about SPX on the Giga space.
Uh.
This is before Murad was there,
Sure.
and I'm like, I kind of like this guy. I buy like $150 worth of
Sure.
it, right? And I just put it away, and that was like the first time I bought it. But I didn't really buy in until Murad started coming onto the Giga spaces, and he was saying all these things that I felt.
Right.
He's just 30 IQ points higher than me, so he's saying it a
Yeah.
lot better. But I was like, this is incredible. Because what I didn't say, so that PopCat I ended
Yeah.
up holding
Sure.
almost all of it, from like 5 million to 400 million to 700 million.
Wow. Yeah.
Turned like $1,000 into like a 6-figure trade. And
Sure.
all I could think of the whole time was like, man, these union guys that I had just worked with for 8 years, like, dude, this is life-changing money. Like,
Yep.
this just changed my life, and
Yep.
I was like, we got to bring it to these people. And then I heard Murad come on and start talking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's saying it. He sounds better, but I'm saying,
Right.
yeah, I get it.
Right.
And then that was when it started, and I started buying more. And then I really got SPX pilled like 5 months ago when I started this space with Cal.
Right. Right. Okay.
And listening to Cow talk, listening to Tan's talk, it changed the whole. Like, I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely different than anything in this market. It's The community is completely different. The people that are building this community are completely different. And that was when I was just like, I was all in. And then when they
Nice.
asked me to do the podcast, I was like, I'm
Oh yeah,
in.
yeah.
Like, let me in.
Oh yeah, and the podcast is great. I watched the first one. I'm looking forward to the next one, and on
Oh, thank
Thursday.
you. This next one's going to be cool. So it's about Bitcoin as a social experiment. And
Mm,
like I'll be completely honest, like I basically missed Bitcoin in that sense. Like
sure,
I was buying some, never had a lot of it
sure,
and just didn't get it.
sure.
So to go back and like all I've been doing is like research on Bitcoin this week. And the more research I
Yeah,
did, it was just like the parallels to SPX were like I get why guys like Matt Beck, who,
yeah,
worked at Grayscale when it was the size of a basketball team,
sure.
I get why what he's talking about now. Like it truly is it could nothing will be the next Bitcoin, but the ethos, the message of it, how you build it is so similar. It's the next evolution in my opinion.
Right.
So this podcast is going to be super cool. I'm like I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't participate in early Bitcoin. I was more of like an observer. I was in college, and it had that same energy. And I remember, yeah, just totally delusional. It sounded crazy, and and the rest is history. But yeah, it's very similar vibe, and from just being an onlooker, and I didn't really start buying Bitcoin until 2022, which wasn't a bad time to buy it. Certainly not
No,
early, but I've done good on it. And
yeah,
really, at this point, I look at it as almost like a retirement type asset. It's a good
same.
store value. Yeah, Sailor really orange pilled me, to be honest. He really made it make sense for me.
Dude, what an animal that guy is.
Yeah,
Like what an absolute animal that guy is. Because same, I used to like play his stuff at work. I was also that guy, same thing like 2021, right after COVID. I remember sitting when I drove my wife upstate for because my son was pregnant. I remember sitting there and it was at $4,000 a coin,
ooh,
and I'm
yeah,
trying to tell my wife, I'm like, you gotta buy. I'm like, you just gotta buy some. She's like one of these incredibly frugal, great
sure,
saver of money, but just keeps it all in a savings account, earning nothing. And I'm
right,
like,
yeah,
you gotta. I'm like, just buy one. Like,
just by
just one.
yeah, yeah,
Like, just one. And
yeah,
she just didn't get it. She did end up buying a little bit, but I
nice.
would be at work telling these guys, like, hey, look, guys, $10 a paycheck, $20 a
Oh yeah,
paycheck. Just buy this stuff and don't think about it. And I remember, like when it ran up to 60 and it fell back down to 30, some of those guys kept buying it,
nice.
and over those 5 years, like they got damn near a Bitcoin,
That's all. That's great.
and that's how you do it,
Yeah,
like especially if you catch like COVID was crazy like that because in the
yeah.
union, what happened was they let us take out from our annuity for the first time
Oh,
penalty free, right? You were allowed to take up to
nice.
$100,000 without a penalty, and you could spread the taxes out over 3 years.
Gotcha.
So like everyone took the money out.
Mm,
I took the money out. I was buying stocks like Boeing and like United Rental, like, at like 60, $70.
sure.
I actually found GameStop, pretty terrible, funny story, but I found GameStop. So I went to college to be a CFA,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
all my buddies like work at hedge funds. They do these research reports for like big banks. And I was talking to one of my friends when all this was happening. I was like, "You all right, dude? You ready to jump out a window?" And he's like, "Nah, that's all right." He's like, "We're actually all short in this GameStop stock." He's like,
Oh,
"Dude," he goes, "My whole office is." And I go, "Really?" He's like, "Think about it. It's dead." He goes, "No one buys video games anymore. They're just going to buy them online. They have all this money tied up in real estate. Like, the stock's going to zero." And so I just went on. I went on. We used to go on Yahoo Finance, like even in college. That was where
yeah.
we go. You go to the statistics page. So I'm like, man, I wonder how high the short is, like the short float. So we were taught anything over 30% is a high likelihood for a short squeeze. Just means like that's a real high number. I go on there, it says 103%, but that's what
Mm,
the short float is. So I go, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
mm,
how could his stock be over 100% short? And it was trading at $3 at the time. So for
right.
the next month and a half, I watch it go from 3 to 5 to 7. And I'm like, you know what? I just took this money out. I'm going to buy 1,000 shares. Like, I'm just going to play this short squeeze. Like, none of this makes sense. I buy a
Yeah.
1,000 shares in between $7, $8, starts to runs to like $20. I sell it all. I think I'm the king. I'm like, look at this, at Wall Street. And then 2 months later, this little subreddit page, Wall Street Bets, comes out and starts talking about the short squeeze on GameStop, sends it to $400. And yeah, didn't have any of those stocks for that part. But yeah, that was a crazy time, man. But what a crazy time.
No, I have not a similar story. I don't know if you remember, but like there was everything was cheap. I remember Carnival Cruise Line, different cruise lines were kind of like hot.
Yo, down to like
yeah,
oh yeah,
Spirit Airlines, like the most random shit that you would never think about before, really. But I remember I was like, you know what's closed right now, and I kind of want to go to. I was like movie theaters, and this was before I didn't know anything about the AMC thing. Nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, it's down like 95%. I'll just put like a grand in it. The next, like 2 weeks later, it like 10x's overnight. Of course, I sold it because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And then it went on to like 20x from there, and I'm like,
yeah. Dude, and how I got into crypto last cycle was, so I understood what Wall Street Bets was doing, right? Yeah. They're squeezing these highly shorted stocks, right? So I go on to Yahoo Finance, same thing, and I'm looking at all of them. So I see, Bed Bath and Beyond, Fubo.
Yeah, that Bed Bath and Beyond, that was one too. Yep.
Dude, so I am opening like short duration calls on all of these, and it's working very well.
Yep.
Like I probably invest like 5,000, I'll run it up to like almost 50 grand, and then they shut down the buy side on Robinhood, and I watched 30K of it disappear in 7 minutes. Wow. And I remember calling my buddy that got me into the meme coins this cycle and going, I will never invest in the stock market again. Like, this is a rigged system. Yeah. They just took 30 grand from me. Like, they're never going to let us win. They're never going to let retail win. Right. Like that, how that's not illegal, I don't understand. And I actually bought like the Robin the Hood mug. Like, I still drink my coffee out of it. And that was like how I got into crypto.
Right.
It's like they're never going to let us win here. And what's crazy is when I talk to people about SPX, that's how I explain it. This is GME Unchained. This is GameStop, but it's a home game for retail this time.
Right.
There is no pay for order flow by Citadel. They can't do all their trades after hours in dark pools. Like, there is none of that.
Right.
And I just think with SPX, when you compare SPX to GameStop in terms of just it was very confusing, GameStop. Like, if you went into that Reddit, it was some of the worst brain rot you've ever seen, mixed in with like high-end like due diligence. But it was like, for the most part, it was like, I would read something and I would get done like 10 minutes later and be like, I'm going to kill myself. Like, what did I do? I'll never get this time back. Like, not one part of that made sense. But then you get to SPX and it's like, it's almost like the evolution of that, right? Yeah. Like, instead now you have people that understand it and they're more coming from a crypto background, right? So they tie it more to Bitcoin. So there is this DCA culture, but they truly understand like the mechanics of what we're doing. And I just think that that's the big difference, is you have way more organization and the quality of people. There is a self-filtering mechanism in meme coins that works terrible for most coins, that works incredible for SPX, where it is a bunch of genuine people. And I think a lot of that is like, authenticity is the highest vibrational energy there is, right? So like, when you talk to someone that's authentic, you feel it. Mm-hmm. And this space is so void of that, right? Like, it is a bunch of just snakes that when you talk to an SPX guy, you feel it feels different, and I think that's something that SPX, it's this self-filtering, there's a few of these like PBAs, right? As Murad and Cal call them. I love that. I think that's such a great word, right? Because I used to say meme coins, like I've been saying since I got in here, like meme coins save the middle class. And the truth is, like, that was too encompassing, right? PBAs save the middle class. This is such an asymmetric investment opportunity for retail. I think the best one since Bitcoin, honestly, in that sense. So I just think there's this self-filtering mechanism built into SPX that just really brings good people together, and that is a real deciding factor as to why I'm so bullish on it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better too. I mean, Bitcoin was amazing. It was the first, one of the best, still a good asset. And but then the ICO craze and all that happened in 2017, and then there was a bit of that in 2021 with some of those alts that went nuts. The difference between this and that PBAs, meme coins, whatever you want to call them, the difference between that and what that was is you had to delve in to try to figure out tech documents and what does this do, what's the utility. You had to try to understand things. It was all a bunch of mumbo jumbo most of the time, just made up bullshit to try to confuse people into thinking it was something. Most of the time, not always.
Oh yeah, 99% of the time.
Right. So
Someone showed me a white paper right now, I'd punch him in the face. You know, like I would punch them. That was, dude. Then you had to check if it was audited. I can't remember the name. Right? There was like if it was like officially audited. There was all of that stuff. Like
yeah, it was all scams essentially. But yeah, and this is way more fun. Is what I'm trying to get at. The other stuff was not fun at all. It was bland, boring, and you probably got lost your ass on it. But sometimes you might have got lucky. But what's funny is the ones that did. But yeah, the ones that did do good, they're not like really adopted. It's become a meme coin essentially. So I would say XRP I would put in that category. But
yeah, so like I love to make fun of Cardano.
Yeah, Cardano's a good example too.
Great one, right? Yeah. And like what I think what got me so interested in meme coins, right? So I bought those ones in December. I made a Twitter account and I didn't say a word really. I observed, right? And I was observing and I was really focusing on the liquidity, the market cap. You know, I was focusing on Solana because that's what I was playing in. And like it was at like 5 billion market cap when I started. I watched it grow to 20. But what was really interesting was the liquidity. Like it was still trading a couple $1 billion a day. And I'm like, this isn't like incels in their grandmother's basement. Like there's some real money here. And to me, what it was this weird pocket, right? That never happens, right? So last cycle is a perfect example. Big banks and big tech always move in lockstep when they create something, right? They create the technology, the institutions fund it, whether it's institutions or VCs. They build their positions, they turn around, roll it to retail. Retail buys their bags as exit liquidity. Happens every time. That's why most retail that bought those coins last cycle lost money, right? Yep. Because those coins hit the market at $9 billion valuations, right? Yep. And then this time around, meme coins come, and I think it's like a culmination of a couple things. I think a lot of it was interest rates were very high, right? So when I worked on Wall Street, I was like, just because I was a set of eyes and I had a decent brain, like I would sit on like the investment banking part of the firm I worked at just to look over stuff. And what I realized is, especially at those smaller firms, it's just liquidity. Like, so you're talking 2011, 2012, 2013, interest rates are at zero. So these people were borrowing the money for nothing. Right. And then they would throw it right at some type of, usually a biotech stock. They would IPO, and if they IPO'd, it would hit a price, they would liquidate, and that's how they made their money. But all of that was on the basis of the interest rates were at zero. They were borrowing the money for nothing.
Right.
So what happens is when you increase interest rates like they did, right, like 5 points over a couple years, that sucks out all the liquidity, because that same guy that was willing to throw $1 million and pay zero interest is not willing to throw $1 million if it's 5% interest. So I think there was a lot of that where these VCs were kind of sitting on their hands because money wasn't moving around. So retail got to invest in the base, right? Like we made these coins, and that never happens. Retail never gets in at the base. Right. They always get in at the top. And I was like, this is so interesting to me. Like this is a chance to make real gain. Like these gains only, like retail never sees this, right? I met more people that turned into millionaires last year than ever in my life.
Wow, yeah.
And it was because of meme coins, right? It was because they were able to throw $2,000 into a coin at, sub 1 million market cap. Like all those Giga guys, like that's how I know. I mean, they were buying that coin. Like my buddy was buying that coin from from 200K to $1 million market cap, right? He threw like maybe $3,000.
Wow.
It's $1 million. It's $1 million position, over $1 million position now. That never happens. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is crazy because it's not even it hasn't even started yet, right? Because
Right.
the natural progression is institutions don't come in with retail, right? Institutions come in, they wait for legal guardrails. That's where we're. That's why I think September will be an interesting month for meme coins, because they're supposed to release some type of capital market legislation update. And I think once you get some type of clear-cut legislation, institutions and VCs really start to pile in. They build positions, they turn around, sell it to their retail clients, right? So we're in underneath all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I am like so gung ho on getting normies in, just getting as much retail in now before that happens, because it's just like catching a wave, right? You got to get in front of it. Like if you could get in front of that, I mean, that's how we save the middle class, man.
And I think, I don't know if the Doge ETF passed, but I know there's several meme coins that have ETFs out there, which I think will be interesting too.
I could totally see that happening, right? Because there's still going to be a lot of people that don't want to be bothered, right, with opening a wallet, even downloading the Coinbase app. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these institutions will make ETFs of the top 5 meme coins, and that's how they'll get their retail clients to get exposure to crypto, to meme coins. They'll make an ETF. I could totally see that, man. Like, I see that absolutely happening. And it's like, dude, you never. I just feel lucky, you know. I just feel like we're here, man. Like for whatever reason, like we stumbled upon this. We're crazy enough to hold it and to believe in it, and that is Bitcoin in a lot of ways. Like you think about it, back then, like I remember when I was on the bond desk, like everyone made fun of it. All those guys were like, it's internet money, it's vaporware. They're buying kids, they're buying drugs, you know, like that was the whole thing. Yeah, and now it's like institutions are swapping into Bitcoin anywhere between 500 million to over $1 billion a day.
And that's another thing I was thinking about. There's still a lot of retail people who are like getting into Bitcoin and are really trying to push it forward and really active on social media for Bitcoin. I kind of want to say you're not really making a big difference anymore. You got the big guys. It doesn't matter if you scream about it or not anymore, you know. So
I totally agree with that. And it's Bitcoin's moved like so much in on the risk curve, right? That like now you have institutions buying it. And I think there's a level of like that cyberpunk mentality of the early Bitcoin in these PBAs where it's like we're on the fringes, and that's kind of lost in these Bitcoin maxis now. Not that they care financially, but the reason they bought Bitcoin was like because of that cyberpunk, like the system's broken, like this is sound money. And we've come so far along, like technologically, and just the progression of crypto, the adoption of retail to crypto, that it doesn't matter. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting that Bitcoin did, right? You don't have to understand blockchain. You don't have to understand stats. You don't have to understand any of that. So that road has been paved already. And that's where meme coins get this chance. Because like you said, it's so much more fun. And what makes it more fun is this community aspect that was gone, that didn't exist last cycle, because those are all VC slop coins, those bunch of lizard people, you know what I mean? There was no community there. Like, so now you get to like have fun, and I do think that is the most undervalued part of meme coins that retail doesn't understand yet. Rightfully so, though, right? Retail thinks of meme coins and they just think it's a scam because they've never participated. SPX is one of the greatest examples of that. You don't understand SPX, especially when you see the price, right? You're like, I'm not going to buy that thing. It's at $1. I'm looking at all these other coins at 0.0003. You know, I'm going to make 1,000x. But then you interact with the community, you know, the cognosphere, and you go, oh, this is like so much fun. Like these people are great. Like I'm learning how to make content. Dude, I'm like a computer retard. You got me on CapCut making clips. Like, the TikTok. Dude, TikTok for the first like week, I would just throw my phone. I would like make a video and the volume would just be, I'd like try to put music behind it and it would just be the whole, you couldn't hear me talk. And like, it did this for an hour. It doesn't even work. Like I've never felt more like a boomer until we all went over to TikTok.
Oh my
But there's something to it, right?
Yeah.
Like this community aspect got completely washed away, right? So the way I see it is, everyone's been on the internet, right, for since at least like the mid 2000s. But
Sure.
COVID, because everyone got locked inside, COVID was this like mass adoption of social media forced right down your throat, right? Because you had no third place, is what they call it. It's a cool
Yeah.
idea, right? So we have three places. It's home, work, and then a third place. And that third place has always been whatever socialization that you do, right? So it was going to the bars, whatever game nights, sporting events, all that stuff. That was your socialization. So when that got taken away, it just got filled with the internet, with social media. But the problem with that is the algorithms are not designed to make everyone get together, right? What the algorithms do is they silo you into specific groups, and they don't let you be an individual at all, right? And you watched everything just become this silo hive mind, right? Everything turned into sports teams, politics, medicine, like everything was either you're all on this side or you're not on that. Like that's it. It was love, hate. And that's not how reality works, right? So now what I think meme coins could do is fill that third place, but in a way more efficient manner, right? Like you take a coin like SPX where there's people from all over the world, all walks of life, all different views on things, but they're aligned in this community under this one goal. And that, but still being able to express yourself as an individual, right? And that's something that the internet hasn't given people yet.
Right.
It's on the opposite, right? Like if you were in one of those like Facebook chats or something and you disagree with something, you just got kicked out. You know, like you just got kicked out. So now you're able to express yourself as an individual, but in this group, right? With a singular goal in mind. And I think that's super powerful. Like I think that's so powerful.
And I think it's also like SPX has its own marketing engine, so to speak. Like if I would have released this podcast and it was me and we didn't have anything to do with SPX or something, it was just me and you talking crypto, that would go nowhere. Nobody would look at. Yeah, we get like 2 views, 0 watch, no watch time. But because we're talking very specifically about SPX, there's a whole group of people who are passionate about it. So, and what I mean by that is that's kind of, at least now for me, SPX is my algorithm basically. That's all I see, essentially.
Same.
Yeah. So I really, it's definitely new. And then if we go to all the other platforms, folks will be, when they're on TikTok, they'll see more of that, and on YouTube, whatever it may be, people will see more and more of it, which I think is good.
I think YouTube, I think everything we're doing is big in that sense, right?
Yep.
Crypto Twitter is such a small place.
Right.
And like for the most part, it really is just not good people, like it's just not. And I think that as we branch out onto different platforms, we'll be talking to more like human people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, regular people,
just regular people, and they'll get to see a different side of meme coins, right? Because all they see, like, dude, did you see this thing? I had more people text me about this Deege coin. Did you see anything about this? It's DEGE coin.
No.
So get this, right? It's on whoever did this, brilliant, kudos to them. They must have paid like a good grip of money because it's on everyone's Instagram algorithm.
Really?
And they sent this coin to to Trump's public wallet, right? And they sent enough that it's sitting like right at the top. And they did this thing where they're like, on July 20th, more millionaires are going to be made than ever before. Like, look at this coin. And like, they're doing this thing. And I had at least a dozen people now within the last 2 days text me like, dude, I'm going to get into this. You see this? And it's like, what do you think's going to happen? Dude, I'll send you the like one of these crypto guys did like a bubble maps on it. It's 90% bundled. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's going to happen is people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
And on July 19th, that thing's going to go to 0, right? The day before it's supposed to go up. And that's just what they think of meme coins.
Right.
So until we go and show them what meme coins are, like they're only just going off of their experience. You know what I mean? And the experience for most people right now is like, even look at Trump coin, man. Like, that's
a scam.
I don't know anyone that made money on Trump coin.
Well, I mean, they only, whenever it came out, they only had 20% go on sale. There's still 80% that's going to be unlocked over the next couple of years. So it's it's horrific. It's absolutely.
And they did that, dude. He did they did that crazy thing where they didn't pair it with Sol or ETH, they paired it with USDC. So they locked they locked supply, whatever that was, but they didn't lock the liquidity pool. So they were basically just taking out US dollars. Kind of brilliant. Crime season's on. So in that sense, but yeah, everyone's experience with meme coins is so bad, and it's like the more we could go out there and just explain what they actually are fundamentally, right? These monetized social networks, right?
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I think that's how I think that's the best way to explain it to just a regular retail guy. It's a monetized social network, which has never happened before, right? It's almost like getting investing in being a sports fan in that sense.
Yeah.
You know, like you have these like diehard fans of this thing, but instead now it's monetized, and all it has to do is grow and reach, right? That's really all it is. So I just think the more we go out on these platforms and talk about that in a long form conversation, I don't agree with like that people like no one wants to watch something for an hour or no one wants to listen to something for an hour. I don't really find that to be true. I get like the TikTok brain and all of that. I think part of that's true, but I think that like a podcast like Joe Rogan, just podcasts in general, proved that no, people will put something on and listen to it if it's engaging, if they're learning something or they're laughing, if it's engaging. And like that was the problem coming into this, was the quote unquote like main characters of this place couldn't string together 3 sentences, and they were all anonymous. I mean, they all sounded like they had peanut butter in their mouth. Like it was just like it was the worst. Like it was just the worst people. And now like we're watching that change, right? And what's cool is it's changing within these communities, right? Like me and you are, you know, we're like nobodies, right? Like, who are we? You know what I'm saying? But people are going to listen to this. This is going to get passed around, and it's going to resonate because, again, authenticity is the highest vibrational energy. Like, we're just two dudes talking about something we love.
Right.
And I think that goes way further than people think. I do.
The people I've talked to so far, including yourself, I've been 10 times more impressed than I thought it would be, if you know what I mean. Not like I wasn't going to be impressed, but it's high caliber people in the SPX group, which is very cool to see. And
dude, all your shows have been awesome. That last one was great. Who's his name?
Michael.
Michael. Okay.
Michael was the last one. Seb was the second one, and then
that was great too.
Audacious, who wrote the book, was first.
Oh, so okay, that was a dude. They were all great, but you guys touched on something that I 100%. I think you made a clip about it today. That the next evolution of this meme coins are these in-person meetups.
Yeah,
for sure, man. It just makes sense, right? Yep. Especially if people are doxing themselves already, like there is no downside in that sense, and I think that's going to be huge.
Well, I was just gonna say one thing before I doxed. The reason why I didn't want to dox is because there was like this legal gray area last year.
Yep.
The SEC, and it was like, is it illegal? Is it not illegal? I don't know. But then Trump's got his own meme coin, so I think we're all good now. So so for me, 100%. I don't care anymore. After that, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think that is definitely the next evolution. What's cool about that is like it'll be everywhere, right? Like this is a global coin, and I think that's very enticing just from a marketing standpoint, where it's like, yeah, you got a SPX meetup in the northeast of America, in Spain, you know, all over the place. It'll show that like to retail, like, oh, this is like a global phenomenon. You know,
have you seen that? Somebody put together, I can't remember their name. But they put together a Google Maps, and you can add your.
I messaged them. I put I put Syracuse on there. So that's such a cool graphic, man.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, I like that idea too. I can't remember who it is, but yeah, I recommend people to do that. You don't have to put your exact location. You can just put generally where you're at, and it's cool to see. I've seen people.
That's why it's
I've seen other people from South Carolina. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. And a few people from North Carolina. I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Dude, I almost just moved. It would be next month to right outside Charlotte.
Cool.
Yeah, we were looking over there. and then I ended up being able to get my son into a school over here. So bought
Gotcha.
another year, but I have to leave New York for sure. So I'm either
Charlotte's
going to move
nice.
down to, yeah, I'm either going to move down to over there or somewhere in New Jersey, because technically my wife still works from home out of
Gotcha.
New York City, but like New York City based. So I just feel like that's kind of like a ticking time bomb. Like at some point, it's going to be like, well, you got to come in for 2 days. There's going to be some type of pivot there. She works in like advertising for a huge company.
Oh, cool,
So
cool.
yeah, so it's either going to be like Charlotte or New Jersey, but I love it down there. I
Hmm.
think I love the South. I like the speed of it. I like the people better. I just think it's way more
Yeah,
laid back.
yeah. I grew up here and I love it here. I lived in Wisconsin for about 2 years.
How
Then
was
moved
that?
back. Very cold.
Cool. Yeah.
Literally, that's why I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I have to go back. Too
Yeah, we
cold for
got
me.
more snow. I was like lucky the first couple of years we were up here, and like we really didn't get that much snow. And I'm like, yeah, this place really isn't that bad. This year we got like an insane amount of snow, and I was like, I fucking hate this place. This is the worst place ever. Like I can't. Like it's like one thing when you shovel like a foot of snow like
Yeah.
one or two times. Like, oh, it's cool. My son's gonna play and we'll make
Sure.
snowman. And
Yeah.
after like the fifth time, I'm like, I'm gonna kill everyone. Like this is like I can't do this. It's too much.
Yeah. The snow can get old. I feel like I did when I was in Wisconsin. I feel like I did nothing but sit inside and drink most of the time.
Well, yeah, that definitely happens. That's why like everyone up here just looks like a baked potato with eyes, because in the winter it's like all you could do is
Yeah.
it's 20 degrees, there's 2 feet of snow. It's like, well, I guess I'm gonna get drunk again because what else am I gonna do?
It is kind of like that. I mean, definitely. Luckily, I had a really good friend who was my. I had a cool neighbor in my apartment, so yeah, we got wasted all the time. It was fun.
Yeah, it's great. Now, this is all like pre-COVID days? Because that's pretty much what
Pre-COVID
COVID
days.
turned to
Yeah.
up here, in the north. That's really what COVID was. It was just like a 1 year drink fest where like no one was allowed to go, couldn't go to the gym. It's like, what do you mean I can't go to the gym? Like it's dangerous. The liquor store is still open. I guess COVID doesn't go in there. So that was like that was really all we did. It was
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, the South wasn't too impacted by COVID. We did we did it for like 2 weeks and we were pretty much done.
Get out of here. So when you went to New York, you're probably like, this
Oh
is the
yeah, it felt like I was in like an apocalyptic movie or something. It was weird.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that must have been
And they were
crazy.
everybody was like all scared and like and I'm just like, we just been chilling. We don't give
You
a
just walking
fuck.
around with your hands up. You got your hands up. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I remember I can't remember. I went to a store something, and I was at some store, and I was standing there, and I asked them. I think it was locked or something. I said, "Yeah, can you get this down or whatever?" And then they walked over, and I was like, "Okay." And I was standing there, and they're like looking at me like, "You need to move. I can't get near you." I was like, "Oh, my
Six
bad,
feet,
my
dog.
bad."
Dude, they would have the marks in the store on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
literally, you had to be 6 feet apart in the store. We'd be like in 7-Eleven, like during lunch, like just like getting drinks at lunch, and we couldn't stand next to each other. It's like, this is insane. Like, this is insane. Dude, I was in the
yeah.
city
The
when
South
they
just
did
wasn't
that.
impacted. I don't know
So
how
that
that
was it,
works.
huh? Just a couple weeks, and
Pretty much,
they
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, I should have moved there then. Dude, I was in the city for the Black Lives Matter riots. Like I was working on 30th between 5th and 6th Avenue, right? It went down 5th and 6th Avenue. That's like where they did the riots. So there was like no like Department of Buildings and stuff. We were just doing like cowboy shit, like stuff we would never be able to get away with. It's like no one was watching. We'd work till like 10 o'clock at night, drilling, like doing like stuff that like you would never be allowed to
Right.
do. And I remember that day, it was like 6:30 at night. So we would actually like take a dinner and then work till like 9 o'clock, because that's how we were doing it. And it was like 6:30. We were about to take our break, and you heard like noise, like rumbling. Like what is this? And then the safety guy was like, "We just got a call from a building up the block. Like they have chainsaws. They're lighting stuff on fire." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I was riding my bicycle. I had to ride my bicycle home. So I was like, I'm gonna leave because I'm on a bicycle And I remember going down and going over the 59th Street Bridge, and
Yeah.
you could see it, and like there was smoke, and I'm like, this is the craziest thing.
Wow.
Like this is people are like, I'll never forget that
Oh,
when they shut down the Brooklyn Bridge. I worked in Brooklyn a
okay.
lot during COVID,
Yeah.
and I remember when they walked over the Brooklyn Bridge. I used to ride my bike. I rode my bike everywhere, dude. Like I would
Sure.
ride like 10 miles to work, wherever we were working. It didn't really matter.
Wow.
And I remember getting onto the bridge right before they got there. And dude, it was like, I don't even know, 20,000 people, something crazy. And yeah, it was, dude, that was
That's
a wild
crazy,
time.
man.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah, those were some crazy years. I try to forget about all that. You know,
Yeah, well, it's just so much better now. You know what I mean?
I'm not going. I don't know if we can. I don't know if they try to pull that one again. I don't know what will happen, but hopefully they don't.
Nah, I would hope not. But if they did, I feel like meme coins would rip, dude.
Oh yeah, they definitely would.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, if they just said, "Here's a bunch of free money again. You don't have to do nothing. Tons of money. Here you go." Yeah, they would rip for sure.
That's something I'm like curious to see going into like the later half of this year is like, I don't know if they could cut interest rates. It would be interesting to see if they do. I don't know, like if this administration has something up their sleeves for that. But
Yep.
either way, you're watching this like mass adoption of crypto from an institutional side that we've never seen before. And I just think that all that's going to be super bullish.
Yep.
So like take Ethereum, Ethereum for example. Crypto Twitter is so funny because like they just can't see past like whatever's in front of them. But like a couple months ago, the SEC came out and said like staking's not a security,
Yes.
right? And why that
Yes.
matters is because I don't know if you ever staked anything. The taxing on staking makes no sense. It's really stupid. And I was like, man, just saying to myself, like from a liquidity, like money inflow state, like point of view, if they could fix that, right?
Yeah.
A ton of these institutions would put money in staking something like Ethereum and get 3%, right? Because of the delta between Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? So a lot of those institutions, like they're not trying to make crazy money, right? A lot of it's passive. Like when I did the bond stuff, that was all we shot for, was like 5 to 7%, but we're going to protect your principal. And we would get, you know, like doctors and lawyers, and they would give us like anywhere from like $1 million to $5 million, and they would just live off the interest.
Sure.
And like institutions do that a lot too, passive income. They do it through dividend yield stocks, right? And the thing with a dividend yield stock is it doesn't really appreciate in principal value, but same thing. You're generating income into the portfolio. So then you take something like Ethereum, and now you say that staking's not a security. And again, I think in September they'll get more guidance on that. But now you have an asset that has a huge delta compared to Bitcoin, right? Because it's Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's 1 and 2. So now you have this huge principal appreciation that could happen,
Yeah.
and you're still getting yield on it. I think institutions will pile into Ethereum, just these other Solana probably too, but they'll pile in just because of like principal appreciation and this yield, right? Like
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. And once you see that happen, right, all these LP pools are Ethereum, Solana, so the big coins will definitely move more.
Another
sure.
bullish thing I've seen in terms of Ethereum is I've seen a lot of ETH treasury companies starting up, sort of like MicroStrategy, that are purely just trying to buy more Ethereum, either through stock issuance or debt. And so that's that's one of the big reasons why Bitcoin has made it so far, is because of MicroStrategy and all this big corporate adoption. So I think we could see that too. And yeah,
I mean, we could really start to see like sovereign adoption for sure. Like
for Bitcoin, for sure.
I forget which country that is that did that.
El Salvador.
El Salvador, that's it.
Yeah, that was a big. That was in 2021. That was a big news event. That they don't have a lot of buying pressure for Bitcoin, but it still was like a big thing. And
look, they were buying those prices, right? You're talking like 40K Bitcoins.
Right. Yeah, it's been great for them. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start to see that where you get like sovereign wealth funds buying Bitcoin. you're just talking about buying pressure on Bitcoin that we've never really seen before in that sense. And I just think all boats rise with the tide in that sense, right?
Hmm.
And I really do think that makes Ethereum such an enticing investment for these big institutions, these VCs.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Ethereum will at least hit 10,000 the next whenever we top or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Dude, like imagine what these Aeons are going to be worth if ETH's trading at 10K, like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually, were you an NFT guy ever? I was
I
not.
just a little. I dabbled. I started getting into it last year. I actually bought the. Were you familiar with the Solana Saga phone?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I bought that once I heard in 20. I think at the end of 2023. So I heard that there was a bonk airdrop with it, and it was
Hmm.
worth more than the phone. And I got that information right before they sold out. So I bought the phone, and then I sold the bonk to pay for the phone and kept some. And then, but the cool thing was somebody created something called Saga Monkeys, like a little NFT project, and there were like a bunch of them, like a ton of NFT projects that started handing it out to Saga holders because there's an NFT all the Saga holders guide that
Yeah.
signified, oh, you've got the phone. So they gave a bunch of NFTs out. A bunch of projects did it, but the one that did the one that actually lasted was the Saga Monkey one. It's trading at around one Sol, which is not a
Oh, all
lot,
right.
but that's a lot for a Solana NFT. They haven't done so good. But anyways, that was my first foray into it, and then I got turned on to the Sprotos, and I purchased a couple of Aeons as well.
Like these are like standalone projects. I just like couldn't wrap my head around it in the sense of like, all right, so these people love this NFT
Yeah.
and they're never gonna sell it. So then there's no volume. Who,
Right.
if they never sell, who gets to buy it? So the only thing that appreciates in price is if the underlying asset goes up. It's like, but there's not enough of them. So I get the scarcity thing, but it just didn't make sense to me. Like I didn't understand the liquidity vehicle behind it, like what was going to make it move. And then what actually changed NFTs for me was meme coins.
Yeah.
I think NFTs within a big meme coin community, Aeons, Apu, Sprotos,
Oh yeah, I
that
got some
makes more
Apus too.
sense.
Forgot about those. Yeah, I've got about
I
10 of
love,
those. I
yeah, I
actually
love
minted
those
those.
dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was right there. It was like click, 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 click. I minted like 20, I think, but I've sold
Like
10 to
those
do other
make
things.
sense,
Yeah.
right? Like NFTs in that aspect make sense, right? So this is how I look at it. The coin has, right, a billion coins. Apu has like a 30, like 40 billion coins or something like
Sure.
that. So there's far more coins and it's a liquid asset. Absolutely like liquid asset. But the people that are going to buy the NFTs, for the most part, I mean, the ones that bought them that are early coin holders, right? So it kind of rewards the early coin holders, and those appreciate in value as the coin appreciates in value. And then you could even sell an NFT without selling your coins. Like it just made more sense to me. Like, oh, it's kind of like an exclusive part
Yeah.
of the meme coin community, and I just thought like that makes more sense to me. Like, okay, like this NFTs in this function make way more sense to me than just standalone projects.
Yeah, I think the standalones, I think the hard thing about it is if you got 10,000 of them, say, best case you got 10,000 holders who are preaching about the project. Best case, which is not going to be that many because of supply dynamics. That's why meme coins, are way better because anybody can be a part of it, and it's much easier to get people into it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
no,
And then the
totally.
NFT, I basically look at NFTs as kind of like a levered bet on the meme coin associated with them. That's how I
Yeah,
look at it.
definitely.
But yeah, I wouldn't suggest. At least in my opinion, if I would only buy an NFT for a coin that you're bullish on, if you're happy with the amount of coins you have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard you say that last part. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's my
Like you
opinion.
just rather have the coin. Yeah, and so you got a bag that you're comfortable with. You're way better off just buying the coin.
Right, because there's more risk, and there is that liquidity. If you have a bunch of Aeon NFTs, you can't just. I mean, if you're trying to sell some, you can't just like dump them all. It's going
Dump
to
them off.
destroy the
Yeah.
price. but you could sell a lot more with the coins. So yeah, and I like just having one or two. I think it's cool. The Apu NFTs was just, I got lucky with the mint, and I'm happy to have. I'll always keep at least a few. I'll probably sell the rest off over the time, but let me see, where are we at? I had questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, you're good. I'd rather just be natural, anyways. So who really spearheaded the creation of flipping the stock market? The show y'all got.
I would say it was Tans.
Okay.
It was like so cool when he came to me, just because I was like, man, he could go to like so many of these huge Aeon dudes, and he came to me and Cal, and I was like, yeah, I love this because that's something I've been saying for a long time. I don't know if he heard. I mean, I definitely have talked about it on Crypto Compass a bunch. That I think that podcasts are an incredible medium to bridge
Okay.
to retail, and I always was shocked that no one was doing it. Because think about like sports gambling, right? Sports gambling blew up for a couple of reasons. One was when legislation got laid out, right? They made online betting legal, and then each state had to approve it. So you had like legal legislation that started the catalyst. But then what they realized early was that, all right, so now they could bet on their phone. What do they do on their phones? Well, they listen to podcasts. So if you go into any podcast that's target audience is like 18 to 55 male, they will have at least two sports gambling ads on the podcast. You can name any podcast right now, and they'll have that. And that was because they realized like these people are going to be listening to podcasts on their phone. Like, why don't we do ads on all of these popular podcasts? And they did, and that was like where the free $200 for
I remember
DraftKings,
that. I
FanDuel.
remember that. Yeah, you hear that?
Yeah,
Yep.
so like that, I was like thinking about that with these meme coins. I'm like, how are we going to get these to retail? It's like no one's going to pay for advertising, which is funny now because you fast forward and podcasts like Theo Vaughn's podcast, like Andrew Schultz, all these big comedian podcasts, they have like Moonshot, no, with MoonPay, Kraken
Really,
ads,
really. Okay, I didn't know about that.
Kraken
That's cool.
ads, MoonPay ads, and it's like that's the beginning.
SPX is on Kraken, so
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, I've been saying, man, these big communities should make a podcast. So I'm actually working on. I'm going to take the audio from Flip the Stock Market
okay,
and figure out how to put it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
that's a great idea.
So it could just be listened to, because I think I kind of look at the streaming audience and the podcast audience as two different target audiences in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Like I'll send people streams that I'm on, and almost like a handful of them will listen. But if I sent it as a podcast, almost all of them would listen, because they listen, whether either they're at work or they're commuting, they're cleaning the house. What do? You listen to, like, that's what I've been like an avid podcast listener since like 2014.
yep,
So I kept saying on Crypto Compass, like, I'm telling you, podcast is an incredible medium. And again, it gets back to that long form conversation. You want people to learn about meme coins. You can't do it in 30 seconds or a minute clip. It's just not, it's not the right medium.
I can get your attention, maybe.
That's it. And that's
yeah.
why CT is a bunch of retards screaming like that for a minute, like that,
Yeah.
that works. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a real retail investor that actually either has some money or to get them actually interested, you need to talk in a longer form. You have to. So I don't know if Tans had came to me because I was talking about it, and me and Cal just because
Sure.
we were able to speak, but it was definitely Tans. Tans is like one of my favorite people, man. I like really admire the way he carries himself. I think he is an excellent poster child for like a meme coin leader.
Sure.
He's a maximalist in the coin that he's in. He's very articulate. He's very like stoic and respectful.
Yeah.
Like you'll never see him like talking shit about other coins specifically. He just carries himself in a way that I think a lot of big meme coins communities would do a lot better if they had some Tanses, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he just carries himself in a way that I think attracts a different type of buyer to meme coins.
Yep.
He's very pragmatic in his approach. It's very consistent, and then you got Matt Beck, who's like I mean, dude, I'm like the stupidest guy on that podcast by like 40 IQ points. It's not even close. Like it's not even. It's not. Even, dude, Cal will do a post sometimes, and I'll just read it and go, "I'm too fucking dumb to understand what this even means." And it's a chart. Like, like shit, it's a chart. You know. So it's just awesome to even be up there, like chopping it up with those guys. So yeah, I'm like really excited about that.
Yeah,
What you're doing, dude.
yeah.
Like you're gonna inspire a bunch of people to start doing this for sure, man.
Yeah, I hope so. That's my hope because I mean I started it because I did hear they were starting a podcast. I thought it was going to be more like overall market kind of stuff and not really super specific with SPX. So I was thinking like, okay, that's cool. I thought it was going to be more like y'all's show, Crypto Compass, similar to that, and different communities and that sort of thing. So I was like, well, that's cool, but it'd be good. I would love for there to be an SPX only show, and I would love for it to show off different Aeons in the community. That's what I would love. So that's why I did that. But hearing there would be a podcast with Tans in it and all that did spark me wanting to do it, and hopefully me and that as well makes more people want to do it.
So it'll definitely be a podcast where we bring other Aeons in for sure.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
100%. And Tans actually has a really cool idea, right? Like, dude, he's such an animal. So like he has like a list of these great topics, right? Like this topic this week is Bitcoin as a social experiment. And like that's what we're going to talk about and how it ties to SPX. And everything will always tie back to SPX, but it'll be these like deep thought conversations, which again I think is huge because everyone thinks that meme coins is just a bunch of mouth breathers, you know what I mean? So to hear these guys like talk about some like real deep stuff, I think is cool. But we'll definitely have episodes where we bring Aeons on to talk about SPX. I think that's huge. I kind of made Crypto Compass with Cow because, like I was saying before, I think the way to get retail in is to have these kind of long form conversations. And I was like, look, maybe everyone doesn't like the coins that I like, but I think if we could, because I truly believe that these PBAs could save the middle class. I truly believe that in my heart. I think it is one of the last shots we have with just the way technology is going. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to go out there with someone way smarter than me, Cal, and like talk to these big communities and just talk to them. I want to hear their stories.
They're great. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of them.
Yeah, I just want to hear their stories, and I think what it'll do is, one, it'll self-filter itself. Like, if a big community comes on and the people that represent it suck, that's on them. We have nothing to do with that, right? But I also knew it wasn't going to be like that because to get to a big community, like there has to be something substantial there, right? Something of substance has to be there. Yeah. So we started to bring these guys on from all these different communities, and like that's how I met the Apu guys, and I love those dudes. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going on podcast Pond Talk this weekend. I've been on it twice already.
That's awesome.
With Blue, yeah, and like they're great, man, and I have a lot of fun with them. And like my idea was, if you're gonna go try to bring these to the middle class, right? I kind of looked at it as this like pond, right? And we're on this little CT island, right? But the mainland is over here, and this is retail. And if you're going to show up and try to save retail, you don't just show up with one boat. You show up with as many good boats as you can. And that's how I looked at it. Like, hey man, maybe they'll like Giga, maybe they'll like SPX, maybe they'll like Apu, you know, like, and Ticker Bitcoin. We brought them on. We're actually I think we're going to have him on this Friday again because that was when Cow was hosting it, and like, I don't know, the Spaces gods do not like Cow, and it was just for like 2 straight weeks everything would just cut out every 10 minutes. It was insane. So we're gonna have him back on. But the idea was like, we have these like, bring on these tried and true communities that we know are not going to zero. They're never gonna go to zero. And if we could get retail to park money in these coins, not lose money, this is how we change the stigma of meme coins to retail. Yep. And that was kind of how Crypto Compass started. And then we started to like interview guys that I really liked, that I thought were good thought leaders, like genuine people. Like that's how Burnt came on. Like Burnt came on and gave a clinic on, if you want to trade, like, you know, if you want to be in the trenches, this is how you do it. You have to have a system. And Like it was just like bring on these guys, and again, just to show retail that this space is not just bad people. Like
Right.
there is good people here, and that was kind of the start of Crypto Compass, and I think it's been fun, man. I've met a ton of good people, which was cool because I hated CT like so much. I thought it was so many bad people, and then I started that show, and I realized like no, actually, there's a ton of good people here.
Yeah.
Like, there's a ton of good people here. You just have to go find them, and it's not a coincidence that they're all in these good communities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it is this like self-filtering mechanism where the big coins that are doing good, it's because there's good people there. You know, like it just kind of worked itself out like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great perspective. I think all these different avenues are good for sure. Yeah, I love it, and I have seen something from you. I feel like you've been a real champion for the DCA arc. That's I feel like taking hold in a lot of communities, even more so.
Super cool, dude.
Yeah.
So cool to see. I mean, I give way more credit to Cal for that, but we've been talking about that on Crypto Compass since the beginning. And then he actually went on a Giga space and was talking about it with them, and then they started doing it. I mean, SPX has preached that for a very long time.
Yes.
You know, they've all talked about it for a very long time. But like sometimes you just need that little push, and
it's clicked.
Yeah, and like props to Cal. He really pushed it. He really made that happen. And then, you know, like of course I was gonna champion it with him, like because I agree with it. I think it changes a lot of things psychologically, right? It not like SPX. Another great thing is the no chart. I love that. Mm-hmm. Any coin I own, I haven't looked at a chart in months. I don't.
I love that.
Not just every coin. The chart doesn't really matter. Price action doesn't precede anything. It's all community sentiment. What are they doing? How are they expanding? That's what I always judge it on. But it was just cool to watch them start it and then watch all these coins like take it over, because it takes away the psychological aspect of a down day, right? Because then it kind of changes it a little. You're like, well, today I get it a little cheaper than I did yesterday, right? I get a little more today. Yep. And then it's the activity, right? That's why like the $1 thing, I was like, it's insane to expect people to buy a soul or, you know, $100 worth of a coin a day. I just think that's an insane thing to do. I was like, it should be $1. Yep. It could be whatever you afford. It's not It's not the amount, it's the action, right? Mm-hmm. And what it does is it kind of brings everyone back in together. And I like wrote this really funny long form post back in March, and I said, diamond hands versus dick hands. Understand the difference. Because one thing that would make me so angry in these big communities was you would have these guys that bought early, right? Mm-hmm. Never bought again. Mm-hmm. Never bought again. And then like the coin, it's like they're like praised as these heroes because they never sold, but they also like stop interacting, you know, like, and it kind of like makes the community stale. It sucks all the energy out of the community. But then when you get those guys to start buying again, like what that does is it just gets everybody fired up. But the DCA kind of levels the playing field, right? So then if everyone's just buying a little a day, that part doesn't matter as much. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone kind of has the same say in that. And I thought if you could do that in these big communities and get these people going, like those are diamond hands. Diamond hands are the guys that bought early and kept buying. And whether it was DCA or they bought the dips, like that's a diamond hands. And I was like, I just think that term's too encompassing, because right now, and diamond hands is that guy that we just talked about, but it's also the same guy that bought once at, you know, 100K market cap. Yep. I was like, that's not a diamond hands. That is a dick hands. I was like, that, you know, like I was like, we need to delineate those two, because the more real diamond hands you have, the better your community will be, the better your coin will perform. And that was, so it was just really funny. I wrote that back in March. And then like when this DCA thing kicked up, I was like, yes, no more dick hands.
Well, I think Maddox, I don't know if you follow him. Awesome. He's done a really good job of that. $1,000 a day.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say he's throwing 1,000.
And you know he's already got a big old bag, so it's good to see that.
But again, gets you fired up, right? Because you know he's been there from the beginning. You see a guy like that, that's up like 9,000% on his bag,
Yeah.
and he's buying $1,000 a day. Like, if that doesn't get you fired up, like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah. It's obviously, I mean, all the dollars help, but I think it also helps the main, like you're saying, like the main thing is just the image and the narrative that it looks good.
yeah, and the engagement too, right? It
Right.
really gets the community fired back
Yeah.
up. You know, not that SPX was ever lacking that by any means, but
But it's
it
been good,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It gets everyone going again, and it's like, dude, the more stuff we do like that to separate, just
Yeah.
to be different, just the better off it is in the end. And
Yeah.
Cal could give you. First of all, you'll definitely have Cal on. Cal will explain the smart side of that, just with supply and demand and how it matters in a way more. Or I'm giving you the wish.com version of
No,
how
I
Cal
did.
explains this.
The wish.com version is my preferred version sometimes. Simple's good. Simple's good. Um, okay, I have a few more questions. Do you have any content ideas that you thought maybe some other Aeons, like good ideas, maybe not for you, but for somebody else who might want to do it?
So I love what was it Seb or Sev?
Seb, yeah, Seb.
I love what he's doing in the street, and I think that there's a so the only person that does like in the whatever it's called in the street, what is that, man in the street
Man
type
on the
content,
street, yeah. Yeah.
is Razmir, and I think that
Oh yeah,
Razmir,
that's right. The big, big account.
yeah, and he's like one of the most. He has such a punchable face, and like he's still like there's just something so cringy about him, and I think
Yeah,
that regular man on the street stuff by other Aeons, not even like screaming with the microphone. I love what he's doing,
yeah,
so I'm not like talking anything bad about that, but just like the regular man on the street, where because the message is so resonates with so many people, right?
right.
And like that kind of content, just talking about SPX like that, I think would be huge, especially like in those bigger cities. Like he's in like London or something, right?
Yeah, he's in London. Yep.
Like I wish I still lived in New York City for that reason, because I would go do that. I would
Yeah,
totally go do that, because I think I would just be able to like talk and have fun. Like I would just be able to do that. And
yeah.
I think that content's big. I
That's,
think that content would just open a lot of people's eyes. Just to, oh, like you're trying to flip the stock market because like the system's rigged and my rent keeps going up and my food prices keep going up and my paycheck hasn't gone up in 20 years. You know, like there's a message that could be easily talked about that we just don't get to talk about like that.
have
So
you
it's just
seen
a
Have you
regular
seen
person.
Nick's content? He's
Yeah.
younger. Yeah, he's like goes to bars and yells at similar kind of
Well,
ideas.
yeah.
But
So yeah, he's kind of like I love that. I actually love that. I think he does funny content. The other guy, I think that Florida man
Florida,
does some
yeah.
funny
I
content
put
like
all
that.
three of them in the same bucket. There's the same bucket in my head. Yeah.
So like even them, if they just interviewed people instead of screaming it, like they keep doing that. That content's funny, you know, like it's great, but like he gets his point across, like kind of yelling it across a bar. I bet you he would do great just walking around the street like that. Like have
Yeah.
a buddy hold
Yeah.
the camera, you know, just have a buddy hold the camera and say
Yeah.
all those same things that he's saying, but just more in an interview, you know, like more little less like energetic in that sense. Extravagant's the word. Little
Yeah.
less extravagant.
Yeah. Seb has some where he started to do that. He's starting to try to do the interview thing. I've seen it, like man on the street interviews. He's done a few of those now.
Yeah, you're right. He
Yeah.
definitely has. I
Yeah,
saw
but
him,
Nick
like,
has
talking
it.
to
I
an
don't
older
think.
gentleman.
I think Nick expressed that he wants to start doing that as well. And yeah, those are all great ideas for them. Like the extroverted people in the community should look into stuff.
Yeah,
like
that too. That is like for a special person. Like, don't get me wrong, I would do that, but I would be so wedding for like in the beginning of that until I got.
Seb,
Yeah, I might even have to get hammered to do that.
Seb seems to have no fear with it, which is great.
No, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
He's dressed up in a costume doing it. No, he's the man. He's fearless.
So funny. Oh man. Okay, a couple more. How bullish are you on SPX?
So bullish on SPX. Probably my most conviction bag for sure. And the podcast, talking to Matt Beck and Tans and
Dude, Matt
Cal,
will get
like,
you freaking bullish, just because he's
dude.
because he's got a very impressive background.
and and a lot of us don't necessarily have an impressive background, so hearing that, it's like, oh, that's awesome, Sounds good.
Yeah, he's gotten me so far. We have like a chat, us four, and it's like, dude, sometimes like I'll see him send a message at night. I'm like, I'm not even gonna read this because I'm just gonna get so fired up. I'm not gonna go to sleep for like 2 hours. I'm just gonna.
Dude, I've had that happen to me a couple times. Looking at Twitter, I gotta close that shit down early, but yeah.
But I am so bullish because I never understood the appeal that SPX has to so many of these Bitcoin maximalists. I would have never put that together if I didn't talk to people like Tanzan and Matt Beck. And again, like all this research I've done this week, I totally understand it now. And a lot of it is this like cyberpunk part that kind of got lost in Bitcoin for those people and never got lost in them though, right? So like they rode Bitcoin from the fringes all the way to the inside of the risk curve, but like it's never going to go back out, right? It's like there is nothing really cyberpunk about Bitcoin anymore in that sense, but like that's who those people are, like at their heart. Like they're always looking for the next like revolutionary thing. So if you get a bunch of like Bitcoin maximalists that see SPX for what it is, and that's what they're doing, when you have guys like Matt Beck, it's like, oh man, like if you have Bitcoin maximalists that don't have to do this, don't need the money, but are all in, like that doesn't get you fired up, dude. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know what coin you're in, but if that doesn't get you like insanely bullish, like I don't get it.
Yeah. I saw you. You noticed the Sam Hyde thing. Sam Hyde on.
That was insane. That was.
I saw that video you made. I was like, yes, he gets it. Some people didn't get it. I was like, this is a big deal. He's very, very popular. He's a big podcast guy. He's a big comedian. He's big in the internet. And everybody who likes him are internet freaks, mostly. Well,
yes, bro. That's the point.
Yes.
So, like, Sam Hyde, man, I found Sam Hyde so long ago. Like, I'm like like one of these crazy conspiracy guys. And, like, that's how I found Sam Hyde, Especially during COVID. I was watching, like, all this stuff, like Ghost of Kiev and all, like, Kiev and all that stuff. Dude, like, he's done some of the best, like, troll.
It's unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, this has to be AI. Like, or I just shit myself.
I thought that, too. That is okay. So when I first saw the video, somebody uploaded to TikTok a random Aeon, and then somebody was like, I remember seeing it on TikTok. I was like, that's AI. I didn't even look at it. I was like, that's bullshit. And then somebody reposted it and said, is this real? And I'm like, wait, is it real? It looks kind of real. So then I actually reached out to the streamer, and I reached out to the person who originally posted it, and they confirmed it was real. And I was like, it's real. Okay, cool. I'm gonna run with it then. So I grabbed that, and then I was like, okay, he's into SPX. How the fuck is he into SPX? I thought, because I knew he was a Bitcoin guy. I knew he was like all in
big Bitcoin guy.
And I started watching some, and I was like, I don't know. I wonder if he mentions SPX in some of these interviews, and then randomly he mentioned Murad's Bitcoin case. I was like, it all makes sense. It all connected.
And that just, again, it speaks to how SPX resonates with these Bitcoin guys. I think that's really
exactly. It all connected. I was like, that's why I brought it up. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
so that's why I put that together. I was like, do you see the things? Do you see these? Put it together. I was like, here he's talking about Bitcoin Maxi, talking about Murad. Now he's talking about SPX. Do you see the flow? That's why I put all that together, because I was like, it clicked to me. I was like, I got to show this to people. But I'm glad you understood it. I don't think some people quite get it. It's a pretty big deal, actually.
No, Cal didn't get it. He was like, who is this guy? Because as soon as I went down to my family's I'm from Long Island, so I went down there for the 4th of July, and I was at my parents' house when I saw it in the morning, and I was just like,
that was my dad, like, when I figured it out, I was like,
my dad like opens the door, like in like the room we're sleeping with the kids, like, is everything all right? I'm like, what is happening? And then I texted Cal. I'm like, I'm like, is this real? Like, do you you know what this, like, is this real? Can we get any confirmation if this is real? Because I think I just shit. Like, I think I actually just shit. And
it's definitely real.
Who is this? And I was like, oh.
I thought all y'all were freaks like me. That's what I wanted to be. I thought everybody knew this.
Yeah. No, that's, as soon as we said it, I like sent in the group message. I'm like, we have to get him on the podcast. Like,
dude, yes. That's what I keep trying to say. Like, we got to get him more involved somehow. We got to get him more involved.
How do you think? I wanted to ask you that. How do you think you would go about even getting in touch with Sam? Do you go into like super chats on a video? You know what I'm saying? Like a stream?
I've been rating every tweet he's done. I don't know if that helps much, but I have been doing that. I don't know.
Right? Like, how would you even get in front of a Sam Hyde?
Yeah, I don't know. That I really don't.
Do you know where that took place?
Okay,
like
so so it was a streamer named, I can't remember his name, but I followed him. He's a very small streamer. It was on June 18th at an event that Sam Hyde was putting on. It was some showing of I can't remember the name of it, but some piece of video content he put out. He made like a show about it, and he was there, and that's where he caught the moment. Yeah, and
even his shows, he doesn't advertise any of his shows like that. Did you know that? Because he can't, because the place will shut it down. Protesters will come and shut it down. So he doesn't really advertise a lot of what he does. He has such a big following. He just gets it.
And he's done multiple interviews with him. So apparently that guy knows him. I will say that much, because he's done.
Maybe that's how we get in, dude. That guy answered you when you reached out.
He answered us in the Twitter thread. But,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He's only got like 10,000 followers. I'll send him to you. So I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I'll harass that guy gladly. Gladly.
But I was going to say, he's recent. Sam Hyde's recently started up a new podcast with him and several other, like he's had some like conservative guys on and stuff like that, like random people. He's only on his like fourth or fifth one. So
oh wow, so brand new podcast. Okay.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I had this like fever dream. I was like, what if Murad got on his podcast? That would be epic.
Dude.
That'd be epic. That's all I'm gonna say. So also Joe Rogan's been talking about him recently. Sam Hyde, that is.
Yeah. So imagine Sam Hyde goes on Rogan, drops SPX6900.
That's what I'm saying. It would be such a big impact. I feel like that should be like a side quest for everybody. Get him talking about it more.
Get him talking about it more. I want to try to get Murad on one of these. See, not a crypto podcast.
It's not no. It's just like random stuff.
I want to get him on like a regular, like a normal. Obviously, Joe Rogan, you never go right for Joe Rogan, right? But he has a sphere of, like a web of 40 podcasts. Like, I just think if people heard Murad talk about meme coins, even just regular people like us, just heard it, it would make so much more sense. Like,
it's not totally out of the realm of possibilities, because back in the day,
I think Theo Vaughn has on Garbage Man. Like, he has on all walks of life.
That would be big. That would be huge. Like, any of those things would be awesome. And I was going to say, but back in the day, like in 2016, 2017, he had Antonopoulos, who was a big Bitcoin maxi at the time. Joe Rogan had him on. So, I mean, you never say never. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, I've listened to like a couple hours worth of Pomp stuff this week, just like going through it. He looks like he's dead behind his eyes. He kind of scares me. I'm not going to lie. But he interviews like great people, and like I can't watch him on a stream. Like it looks like he's like, that could just be a mask on a robot. Like his eyes are just like this the whole time. It kind of freaks me out.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't. If he got on Pomp again, that would do some. But
yeah, I was thinking that because he was on him like years and years ago, right?
That would definitely attract some people, but. Yeah, I kind of think if somehow he could get on like a more like a mainstream regular person one, that'd be even more bullish, you know.
Yeah, I really think that's the way, man. I'm telling you, because people just don't understand. And if he's in there, just with his beautiful hair, just spitting facts, you know, just think it would work.
Speaking of Raspberry, did you see the video where he was like making fun of him, talking on the streets about it?
Yeah, he was dressed up like him.
That was pretty fucking funny. That was.
It was.
Hilarious.
Well, I'll give him this. Like, dude, he's got the balls to go do all that and record it. Like, that's cool. Like, aside from that, when he doesn't look like Murad, like, he just looks like someone that I would Spartan kick right in his chest. Like, he's just very, like, I just know. Yeah, that whole crew.
He doesn't give you good vibes, that's for sure.
Nah, you know what I mean? He doesn't. That whole crew that he's not part of anymore, I'll give him that. But, like, that whole LA vape cabal, like, look what they did. Look what they did to this market.
The Thread guy's like the worst, right? I don't know. I don't keep up with too much.
I want to say, like, the FaZe Banks and the guy, what's his name? Frank.
Frank was the worst.
Frank Gods, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Ooh.
Orangey, I mean, all of them. They pitched this whole rotators market and kind of just siphoned out as much money as they could over the last 6 months. They just kind of wrecked, and for Solana at least, just wrecked the entire ethos of the market. Said it's this rotators market. Like, I have friends that do all that, and it's a lot, dude. It doesn't seem fun.
No.
Like,
and
all.
And now you need to settle in your positions. It's clear we're coiling up. So if you need to figure out what you want to buy, and you need to stick with it.
And imagine being those people, right? Like, you keep chasing all this now. Like, I have like a good buddy. He's like, it is a flipper's market, dude. Like, you buy the new shit, 2x, keep sold, do it again. And it's like, you forget that when the market actually turns, these coins they move like, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Giga run from 300 million to 900 million in a month.
Right.
You know, like it's just, the people forget. I mean, look at the first run on SPX. That was insanity.
Yeah.
That was insanity.
We're building a base, and there's purging people, and it's.
Well, yeah, the pullbacks are great. Something super unique about meme coins, right? Like, the red days are where the community's built, not the green days, right? Mm-hmm. So that pullback on SPX shook out most of the non-believers.
We went down to like 250 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
like, it was like high twos.
There were so many people that got knocked out.
Yeah, that's great. You want them out. You want them out, right? Because all those coins get bought by either new people that believe or people that believed and they just bought some, good chance to buy more. And then, it goes from weak hands to strong hands in that sense.
Yeah, I personally don't think we're going to get a pullback like that again, because I just think the macro is better now. But it could happen. Who knows? I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, totally could. I agree, though. I don't really think you see something like that again. Not right now. Not for the foreseeable future.
Right.
But that's what I love about this coin. If it did, nothing would change.
Right. I would I'd be buying more. It'd be great. I just don't see it happening, honestly. But we'll see. Okay. Did you have any last thoughts for folks who've listened this far?
Yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble for this long, dude. I can't believe it's 10:45 already. This was awesome. Nah, really, I just wanted to say thank you. What you're doing is awesome here, man. Seriously, I know you're inspiring people to do this, and I think you'll actually inspire people in other communities to do this. And I think that's bullish. I don't understand when people like just hate other coins. If it's a good coin or the more that we could get this to humanize this space, the better off we will be. And I just think, dude, thank you. This has been so much fun. I think what you're doing is awesome. I've listened to every episode. I'll listen to every episode moving forward. I'll probably skip this one because I don't want to hear myself.
I haven't listened to any of them, so I just try to get the clips real quick and move on.
Dude, that's like the hardest part. When I was doing the clips for Flip the Stock Market, I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
I know exactly what you mean.
That.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I would say, dude. Thank you. Alex, seriously, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening up to this point. If you're still here, we appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find Cryptic's X account below, and I'll also put the Flip the Stock Market links down there. Until next time, persist forever, Aeons.
Just forever.